Brother Daniel, and I'm going to bring some truth to y'all. Unfortunately, I saw a few videos and it was saying that AIDS is increasing, drastically, which, I don't think it never left anyway. They just wasn't talking about it as much, but a lot of people are catching AIDS, right? I'm from Chicago. Don't know how true it is, but I saw a video where they said like 15,000 people contracted AIDS in Atlanta, right? And currently, I'm living in Georgia. In Atlanta, a bunch of men contracted AIDS, mostly men, women as well, right? So this is very sad for me to see, but we also got to look at what is the cause of this, right? What is the cause of this? I believe it's because of the increase in sexual immorality. People will say, well, they created AIDS and this and that. Hey, maybe so, right? Maybe they did. But the point is that whether they created it or not, people got to take accountability and they have to stop having sex with random people. If you stop doing that, then you won't contract it. If you walk with the Most High. Now, I know some people was in situations where they were married and they contracted AIDS from their partner, and that's just very sad. I know it's situations like that, and I just pray that they can be delivered from whatever they're going through, right? I know that's very unfortunate, but if we're in a position where we can prevent it as much as possible, strive to prevent it. And how do you do that? Well, sexual immorality has increased. Sexual immorality has increased. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, he said, no whoremongers, adulterers, idolaters, abusers of mankind, homosexuals, none of them will enter into the kingdom. Okay? And it also says in 1 Corinthians that your body is the temple of the Most High. His Spirit wants to dwell in us, but guess what? It says when you go and sin against your own body, you destroy your own body, right? So it's one thing for a man to be hungry and he go to the store and take a steak because he's hungry, but it's another thing for a man to go and sleep with another man, or a man to go and be a whoremonger and sleep with a bunch of women constantly, or for a man or woman to engage in orgies and threesomes and all these immoral acts that people are doing today, right? These things is the reason why you're seeing an increase in STDs and HIV and stuff like that, right? You don't abuse your own body. Love yourself enough to not go out and do yourself like that. Okay? Love yourself and have some standards, right? People don't want to wait to marriage now. People don't want to wait to marriage. People don't want to wait a whole year before they have sex with a person. I guarantee if you can learn to have sexual discipline when you meet someone and you say, look, we're not having sex for a whole year, I guarantee they're going to show you who they are somewhere down the line. They're going to show you who they are. If you can wait that long, they're going to show you who they are. Now, if a person get married within 6 months, hey, I'm not saying that a person going to do what they want, but all I'm saying is give it time. People meeting people and they having sex with them the same night, the same week, the same month, right? And it doesn't work out, then they jump to the next person, or they're just out here casually having sex. That's a quick way to get HIV. That's a quick way to get it. Instead, we need to get back to the way that it was intended, that the Most High created, for us to wait until marriage, right? And get to know the person that you're dealing with. You don't even know this person. You're sleeping with them. You only knew them for a month or a couple weeks. You don't know who they are. But I guarantee if a woman makes a man wait for a whole year, he's going to show her who he is. If a man makes a woman wait for a whole year, she's going to show him. But who has the discipline to do it? Who has the discipline to do it? Y'all getting to know one another and you're going to bond in so many other ways, right? But people just, they want to move fast. No sexual discipline. Marriage, we're going to look at when we look at Genesis chapter 2, the Most High intended for man to leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So who you becoming one flesh with is the question, right? The scriptures say you cannot become one with a harlot, which is a whore, right? And a woman don't want to become one with an immoral man. You see? So we gotta first we gotta work on ourselves, right? We gotta ask ourselves, why am I so addicted to sex? Why can't I wait? Why am I so sexually immoral? Maybe it's things that I went through. Maybe it's trauma that I went through. I need to be delivered from that. How do you get delivered? By seeking the Most High, keeping His commandments, and sometimes you gotta pray and fast. Fasting will heal a lot of things. I was out there, I couldn't believe how many women I was out there sleeping with in my past, right? But I realized that when I was in the world and I was doing all that drinking and sleeping around with women, that majority of the women that I slept with, I didn't really enjoy it like that, right? It wasn't really no real connection. The women that I really like, it was only women that I had some sort of connection with, and that was, I could count on one hand, unfortunately, right? So it's because as a man, I didn't want to admit them things in the past because of this fake bravado and macho-ness, right? But I'm looking at my friends, what they're doing, but I'm like, I'm not really feeling this, really, because I'm having sex with these women, but I'm not really enjoying it. It's pleasurable, but I'm not really getting nothing from it because I don't feel no connection with this woman. You understand? You know, and some men think the same way I do. They want a partner they're compatible with. And that's how I was thinking in the world. But I was too ashamed to admit it, and my conscience got seared with doing that. Going out clubbing every night, finding women, you know, meeting women that I can hook up with later on, right? It's a wicked lifestyle, and it don't lead you nowhere. It can lead to HIV. When we read Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4, it tells us how to prevent it. It tells us that marriage is honorable, right? The marriage bed is undefiled, but the Most High will judge adulterers and fornicators, right? So if you're out here fornicating, committing adultery, doing all these sexual immoral acts, right? Brothers act like they just gotta sleep with another man's woman. They just gotta go and do it. And then you wonder why you end up with HIV. You reap what you sow. You can't do things like that. Instead, work on yourself, get closer with the Most High, right? Pray and fast if you need deliverance, and seek on getting a husband or a wife. That's the right way to do it. But many in the world are going to keep going down that path, and that path only leads to destruction. People that are sexually undisciplined, not only can they contract HIV, but it tears the mind up. You become depressed, you become sad, you get anxiety, fear. Because guess what? The scripture says you become one with the person you lay with, right? So when you become one with that person you're having sex with, if that person has all those negative traits about them and negative emotions and negative spirits, what's going to happen to you? All right, this brother Daniel, hope you got something from it, and love the truth. I'm going to keep speaking the truth. All right, have a good one.